My name is Teresa, and I'm 76 years old. For nearly 14 years of marriage, I believed my husband Arnold was sending money to his sick sister in Indianapolis. I never questioned it until the day I met her in person. It was 1965 when I met Arnold. I was only 16, a simple girl from the Chicago suburbs, daughter of farmers seeking a better life. Arnold was a handsome truck driver with a promising future. We married after 6 months of courtship. My mother warned me it was too fast, but that's how things were done back then. Our early years were difficult. We lived in a small room behind his aunt's house. Arnold traveled constantly. Chicago, Indianapolis, New York, sometimes gone for days. Soon our children arrived. Charles Edward, Mary Elizabeth, and Joseph Andrew. 3 children to raise while Arnold remained on the road. In our second year of marriage, Arnold told me about his sister, Celia. She lived in Indianapolis with serious health problems requiring constant financial help. Every month, without fail, he set aside a significant portion of his salary for her. "Teresa, she's my only sister," he'd say with those convincing brown eyes. "Our parents are gone. I can't abandon her." I believed him. I even thought it beautiful, that brotherly devotion. When money was tight, when we couldn't afford school supplies or new shoes for the children, I'd see that envelope for Celia and feel a pang in my heart. But I never questioned it. It was his family, and I respected that. What seemed strange was that we never visited this sister. Every holiday, every birthday, there was no invitation. When I suggested it, Arnold always changed the subject, claiming she was too private, that her environment needed to be controlled because of her illness. In March 1978, after 13 years of marriage, everything changed. While preparing Arnold's belongings for another New York trip, I found a homemade birthday card in his coat pocket. It was decorated with colorful dots, and inside it read, "Happy birthday, my love. May God give you many years of life and health to continue being the wonderful father and husband you are. With all our love, Celia and Deborah." My heart raced. Father? Husband? Who was Deborah? Why was his supposedly sick sister calling him my love and husband? Arnold's birthday had been in February. I had baked him a simple cake and bought him a wallet. He barely celebrated, claiming he was tired. Now I understood why. He had probably already celebrated with them. Days later, I received a phone call that confirmed my worst fears. It was from Arnold's trucking company looking for him to take an urgent New York load. "But he's already in New York," I said, confused. "He left Monday morning." The silence on the other end was deafening. "Ma'am, that's impossible. He didn't pick up any load for New York this week." My world shattered. Where was my husband if not working? What else had been a lie? While searching for school documents, I found a checkbook from a different bank and an envelope with Celia's name and an Indianapolis address. I wrote down the address and hid it behind our wedding photo. The bitter irony wasn't lost on me. I decided to go to Indianapolis myself. I left my children with my neighbor, Luis, and took the bus with my meager savings hidden in a hot chocolate tin. I wore my best dress, light blue with small flowers that I'd sewn myself, and applied subtle lipstick. Whatever I was about to face, I wanted to look presentable. The 3-hour bus ride felt like an eternity. When I arrived at the address, I found myself in a nice neighborhood, clearly more affluent than mine. The house was painted light yellow with a beautiful garden and a small shop in the garage. A sign read, "Celia's Atelier, Custom Clothing." My heart pounded as I entered the shop. It was beautiful and well organized, filled with luxurious fabrics far superior to the scraps I worked with at home. A young girl appeared from the back, about 14 years old, with long brown hair and eyes identical to my son Charles Edwards, identical to Arnold's. "Good morning, ma'am. Can I help you?" she asked with a friendly smile. I stood paralyzed, studying every detail of her face. The nose, the chin, the tilted smile, everything reminded me of Arnold. "I'm looking for Celia," I managed to say. "She's my mom, but my dad's home. Would you like to speak with him?" Those two words, my dad, confirmed everything. This was Deborah, the girl from the birthday card, my husband's daughter with another woman. Before I could respond, I heard footsteps. Arnold appeared in the doorway, and our eyes met. His face lost all color. For an instant, he looked like he'd seen a ghost. "Teresa?" he whispered. Just then, a well-dressed woman entered carrying shopping bags, Celia. She was about my age, with groomed hair and red lipstick, wearing an elegant dress that cost more than all my clothes combined. "I'm back, honey. I found that fabric." She stopped when she saw me. Recognition dawned slowly on her face. I pulled out the birthday card with trembling hands. "I found this in his coat pocket." Deborah looked between us, confused. "Mom? Dad? Who is she?" "She has the right to know," I said, surprised by my own firmness. I turned to the girl. "My name is Teresa. I've been married to your father for 13 years. We have 3 children together." The shock on Deborah's face was heartbreaking. "It's not true, is it, Dad?" she begged, tears streaming down her face. But Arnold's silence confirmed everything. "How long?" I demanded. "Since when have you been maintaining this double life?" He... I met Celia in 1963, before you. When she got pregnant in 1964, I was already dating you. I didn't know what to do. So you decided to marry me and maintain 2 families. My voice shook with anger. Celia approached me, her own eyes filled with tears. "He told me he was a widower when Deborah was born, that he couldn't officially marry me because of his first wife's pension. I believed him, Teresa." "And the money? The money you said went to your sick sister?" The answer was obvious. The money that could have given my children a better life had been maintaining this house, this shop, this other family. Then I revealed something even Arnold didn't know. I'm expecting our 4th child. The shock on his face was complete. In that moment, surrounded by lies and betrayal, I made my decision. I would not stay married to this man. Arnold never came home. He quit his trucking job and disappeared, abandoning both families. The days that followed were desperate. My small salary as a sewing assistant wouldn't support 4 children, 3 born and 1 on the way. Sewing became my lifeline. I accepted repair jobs, made new clothes, worked from dawn until late at night. My living room became an improvised atelier. When my youngest daughter, Beatrice, was born in August 1978, I held her and felt a new determination. I would raise these children with dignity. In 1979, I filed for divorce. Being a divorced woman carried stigma, but I needed that freedom to rebuild my life. Then something unexpected happened. Mrs. Wilson, a loyal customer who owned a fabric store, offered me a job with better pay and creative freedom. I accepted immediately, working at her store during the day and taking extra jobs at night. In 1980, I received a call from Celia. Her shop was failing, debts were mounting, and she and Deborah were about to lose their house. Arnold had never contacted them either. Something moved me, perhaps female solidarity, perhaps the memory of Deborah's frightened face. "Come to Chicago," I heard myself say. "I know someone who needs a fabric salesperson."
2 weeks later, Celia and Deborah arrived with few suitcases and broken dreams. I helped them find housing and work. When Mrs. Wilson decided to retire and offered me the store, I proposed something bold to Celia. What if we became partners? You would trust me like that? She asked, surprised. It wasn't you who lied to me, Celia. It was him who lied to us both. Thus was born New Beginning Clothing, a name that perfectly reflected our story. The years passed and our business prospered. We moved to larger spaces, hired more seamstresses, expanded our product lines. The children grew up together, discovering their sibling bond despite the circumstances of their meeting. Charles Edward earned an engineering degree on scholarship. Mary Elizabeth became a talented fashion designer, bringing fresh ideas to our business. Joseph Andrew naturally took over sales with his charisma. Beatrice studied law, determined to help women like her mother. And Deborah graduated in business administration, bringing professional management that elevated our company to new heights. In 1991, Celia was diagnosed with breast cancer. I accompanied her through surgeries, chemotherapy, and radiation. One afternoon at the hospital, she squeezed my hand and said, "When you showed up at that shop in Indianapolis, I thought it was the worst day of my life. But today, I see it was the best. That day freed me from lies and brought me you, the best friend I've ever had." Celia passed away peacefully in 1995, but her legacy lived on through our family and business. By the new millennium, New Beginning Clothing had become a respected business network. We employed over 15 seamstresses, had multiple locations, and were known for ethical practices and empowering women. My children each found their paths while contributing to the family business. Mary Elizabeth created programs teaching sewing to women in vulnerable situations. Beatrice opened a law firm specializing in women's rights. Charles Edward worked on social projects in underserved communities. Joseph Andrew became our commercial director, and Deborah established a foundation offering scholarships to children of single mothers. In 2015, I was invited to speak at an event for women entrepreneurs. The secret, I told them, isn't not falling. It's getting up every time life knocks you down, and if possible, getting up while bringing someone else who's also fallen. Now, at 76, I look back and see a life that, despite all the pain, was rich in meaning and purpose. That birthday card I found in Arnold's coat pocket could have been the end of my story. Instead, it was the beginning of a saga of resilience, reinvention, and unconditional love. The greatest lesson I learned is that our stories aren't defined by the blows we receive, but how we respond to them. Sometimes we need to be broken to discover what we're made of. From the deepest cracks can be born the brightest light. To anyone watching who faces their own pain or challenge, there is always a path forward. Sometimes we just need the courage to take the first step, even with trembling legs and a broken heart. The rest, as I discovered on that trip to Indianapolis so many years ago, the path will show you.